In May 2022, a chilling crime shook Delhi when 27-year-old Shraddha Walkar was brutally murdered by her live-in partner, Aaftab Poonawala. What followed was a gruesome tale of deception, as Aaftab dismembered her body into 35 pieces, stored them in a fridge, and disposed of them over 18 days in a nearby forest. The case only came to light 6 months later, revealing a web of lies, abuse, and a shocking confession inspired by a TV show. This horrifying story of betrayal and violence has sparked nationwide outrage and raised questions about love, trust, and the dark side of relationships. Stay tuned to uncover the full, unsettling details of this tragic case. Shraddha Walkar was a 27-year-old Indian woman who was murdered by her 28-year-old lover and live-in partner, Aaftab Poonawala, in a shocking case that drew widespread media attention. The brutal nature of the crime and the subsequent investigation raised serious questions about safety and justice for women in India. Aaftab Poonawala in Delhi on 18 May 2022. The case eventually came to light over 6 months after the murder, when Shraddha's father registered a missing persons complaint after learning from Shraddha's friends that they were unable to contact her for over 2.5 months. On 18 May 2022, 28-year-old Aaftab Poonawala strangled his live-in spouse, Shraddha, during an argument and then proceeded to dismember her body into 35 parts, allegedly charring her face to mask her identity. A 300-liter fridge was used to store her body parts, which were individually dumped in the Chhatarpur forest over the next 18 days at roughly 2 a.m. every night to escape suspicion. Poonawala was arrested by the Delhi police on December 12, 2022. Shraddha's father, Shraddha Walkar, lived with her family until 2018, which consisted of her mother and brother in Vasai, Palghar district, Maharashtra. She studied in a convent school in Vasai and gained admission to a BMM course in Viva Institute of Technology, Virar. She then withdrew from the course. Her father, Vikas Walkar, lived independently and owned an electronic servicing business. While working at a call center of an MNC in Malad, Shraddha met Aaftab Poonawala via the Bumble app. Aaftab is also a resident of Vasai. For BMM, he attended LS Raheja College. He, ironically, also worked at the same contact center. In 2019, she went out to live with him, despite her family's desires, who rejected the interfaith relationship and the thought of living in with someone she barely knew. Friends and family of Shraddha have additionally accused Poonawala of physically torturing Walkar routinely previous to the death. They were believed to routinely dispute over financial difficulties, and they were arguing when the murder took place. During the investigation, Aaftab confessed to the crime and revealed that they fought often as Shraddha was pressurizing him for marriage. Shraddha's father, Vikas Walkar, had no knowledge that she was living in Delhi and thought that she was in Bangalore. Whenever he asked her about her partner, she would not discuss much about him. Her father also indicated that she was closer to her uncle than to him. Aaftab Poonawala worked at the same MNC call center as Shraddha Walkar, whom he met on Bumble. He confessed to the murder after the authorities identified discrepancies in his testimonies and recovered proof of the murder. He was then led to the forest to identify Shraddha's bones. The cops brought a dog squad to discover the body parts. However, several components, including the head, could not be discovered. 13 degraded bits of her corpse were found, of which mostly shards of bones remained. Upon a DNA comparison, it was revealed that the body parts really belonged to Shraddha. Friends and family of Shraddha have additionally accused Poonawala of physically torturing Walkar routinely previous to the death. They were believed to routinely dispute over financial difficulties, and they were arguing when the murder took place. During the investigation, Aaftab confessed to the crime and revealed that they fought often as Shraddha was pressurizing him for marriage. Shraddha's father, Vikas Walkar, had no knowledge that she was living in Delhi and thought that she was in Bangalore. Whenever he asked her about her partner, she would not discuss much about him. Her father also indicated that she was closer to her uncle than to him. Aaftab Poonawala worked at the same MNC call center as Shraddha Walkar, whom he met on Bumble. He confessed to the murder after the authorities identified discrepancies in his testimonies and recovered proof of the murder. He was then led to the forest to identify Shraddha's bones. The cops brought a dog squad to discover the body parts. However, several components, including the head, could not be discovered. 13 degraded bits of her corpse were found, of which mostly shards of bones remained. Upon a DNA comparison, it was revealed that the body parts really belonged to Shraddha. Being a qualified cook, Aaftab knew how to dismember and preserve flesh. The Delhi police further revealed that after searching on Google, he wiped bloodstains from the floor with various chemicals and disposed of the stained clothing. Aaftab had taken inspiration from the TV show Dexter to dispose of the body. He used to sleep in the same room where he had chopped the victim's body. He used to see the face after storing it in the fridge and also clean the fridge after disposing of the body parts. He started by slicing out her liver and intestines. In his confession, Aaftab revealed that he had intended to kill Shraddha Walkar a week before he actually did it. However, seeing her distraught and crying, he decided to hold back until later. He believed Shraddha Walkar had trust difficulties and accused him of infidelity anytime he talked to someone on the phone. On the 31st of July 2023, Shraddha Walkar's father, Vikas Madan Walkar, was presented before the Sessions Court in Saket as a prosecution witness, where he testified that Aaftab Poonawala told him that he had purchased a shovel, 2 knives, and a hammer and cut both of Shraddha's wrists during the night, placing the body parts in a polythene bag. In the same session, Shraddha's brother, Shraddha Walkar, also testified against Aaftab, alleging that 2 weeks after leaving her house, Shraddha told him that she and Aaftab were fighting a lot, verbally and physically. She had told him that Aaftab would beat her up occasionally. In spite of trying to reason with her, she refused to break up with him, saying that Aaftab would apologize to her after every dispute, and she would take the apologies and continue living with him. Following this, Shraddha's interaction with Shraddha also diminished dramatically because he believed she had been entirely affected by Aaftab. After the death of their mother, Shraddha recommended Shraddha to break up with Aaftab again, which she did not listen to. Aaftab Poonawala was booked by Delhi police for killing Shraddha Walkar and slicing her body in May 2022. The charge sheet was based on evidence and witness testimony. Police allege he strangled Shraddha and disposed of the remains. Aaftab was detained after inquiry found his last whereabouts in Delhi. He is currently incarcerated in Tihar Jail Cell No. 4 in West Delhi, where he is regularly surveilled. The Delhi police also filed a 629-page long charge sheet against him. The charge sheet was filed 75 days after the inquiry began. On the 29th of November 2022, when Aaftab was being escorted back to jail from the Forensic Science Laboratory of West Delhi, the police van was ambushed by sword-wielding members of Hindu Sena. The organization distanced itself from the incident, saying what the activists did was out of their personal intention and that the organization shall never condone any conduct that is against the Constitution of India. On the 15th of March 2024, on the request of his counsel, Akshay Bhandari, the Delhi High Court ordered Tihar Prison to let Aaftab Poonawala out of his prison cell for 8 hours every day, like the rest of the detainees. Previously, he was only allowed to step out of his prison cell for 2 hours. The ruling was passed by a bench headed by Justice Suresh Kumar Kate on a plea submitted by Poonawala, declaring that he cannot be detained in solitary confinement under the garb of security. Kaushal Kishore, the Union Minister of State for Housing and Urban Affairs, said that couples who intend to live together must register in court or should have legal registration. He further noted that women should steer away from such live-in relationships. The episode was cited by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad as an example of love jihad, who urged that the central government adopt legislation to ban similar instances from happening, noting that they have recorded 420 incidents of love jihad in the past 10 years from New Delhi alone. The committee also resolved to run a campaign from 21 to the 31st of December 2022 to raise awareness about love jihad. Walkar's father also accused Poonawala of waging what he called love jihad. An interfaith wedding reception that had to take place on the 20th of November 2022 in Vasai, the town Aaftab and Shraddha belonged to, had to be canceled because of local Hindu organizations contacting the owner of the marriage hall and pushing him to cancel the event to ensure peace in the area. The event was a result of the editor-in-chief of Sudarshan News, Suresh Chavanko, doxing the couple's wedding invitation card on Twitter. While initially the couple had no idea their wedding invitation card had gone popular on social media, they decided to call off the event given the political discourse it had taken. Following the incident, several other killings were inspired by it. On the 15th of November 2022, a few days after the incident came to light, a similar incident was witnessed in Azamgarh, Uttar Pradesh. The accused, Prince Yadav, together with his cousin, strangled his ex-girlfriend, Aradhana Prajapati, to death. They had been dating for 2 years, following which he traveled abroad and she married elsewhere. This incensed him, which was followed by the murder. After her death, he sliced her body into 6 pieces and packed the fragments in a plastic bag and threw it in a well outside the hamlet. He also severed her head and threw it in a pond. After being detained, Prince tried to flee but was shot by the police. On the 20th of November 2022, the Baruipur police put a 48-year-old Shamali Chakraborty and her 25-year-old son, Joy Chakraborty, before the court for the murder of the 55-year-old retired Indian Navy personnel, Ujjwal Chakraborty. In a statement made to the police, Joy revealed that he needed money to go to Chennai, but his father not only refused but also assaulted him and his mother. Following this, Joy strangled Ujjwal to death and then disposed of his body with Shamali's help. They hacked his body into 6 pieces with a hacksaw, which they also tossed in a pond along with the body. On the 9th of February 2023, Nikki Yadav was strangled to death with a charging cable by her husband, Sahil Galot, in Najafgarh, Delhi. The couple married at a temple in Noida in 2020, and Galot had been engaging in an extramarital affair as his family was not satisfied with his plan to marry Yadav and fixed his marriage elsewhere. Upon finding out about this a day before his remarriage, Yadav confronted Galot about it, following which he murdered her. He took help from his father to hide the body in a refrigerator placed in the family's dhaba. The body was discovered on the 14th of February, and the police arrested his father. On the 14th of February 2023, Megha, a 37-year-old nurse, was murdered by her live-in partner and stuffed in a mattress in Palghar, Maharashtra. They often quarreled, the latest one being when he killed her. He messaged his sister about the murder, then sold off his furniture before escaping. A week after her death, her body began to smell, due to which the neighbors complained about the stink to the police. The man was found and arrested. On the 25th of September 2024, a 31-year-old Muktaranjan Pratap Ray assassinated 29-year-old Mahalakshmi in Bangalore in a similar fashion. Her body was hacked off in 59 parts and placed in a refrigerator for 18 days. Ray spent the entire night following the murder contemplating how to dispose of the body. Later, he committed suicide by hanging himself from a tree. If you found this video informative, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into true crime cases. And as always, stay safe, stay aware, and keep questioning the world around you. Until next time, this is True Crime Witness signing off.